Okay, today is Thursday, September 22nd, 2016. I'm going to look at 3 times, okay, ETNs, ETFs, CFPs, that kind of thing. All right, what I saw a lot of yesterday after Wednesday's FOMC meeting and forecast is a lot of fat bars like this, and these are 2-hour charts, and I have it sorted by best change over the last week. Okay, now what you know with fat bars like this is that there's a lot of volume in here. We saw this is actually nice pattern here. These are 2-hour bars. Okay, so you had sell-off, which is basically a retest of the breakout. Okay, and a reversal here, but you know everybody's this is buying volume. So what you want to do is you want to have an alarm somewhere around 50 from the way back down. The deal here is momentum. We're trying to see if there's follow through momentum, and these would be the next targets, okay, for selling. We're at 54 now, 57, 59. You'll also have, besides the people here that will probably want to try and get out of it, is you also have a nice 5-wave pattern coming off the bottom here. And you'll have people that bought the breakout, you can measure it, it's going to be marking up to around this area, but you have the unbalanced volume pretty high. Okay, so I would be looking on this one for weakness, and you can just trail the stop up. If this thing gets 3 bars running, we have both Thursday and Friday. Okay, remember that it's had momentum because of the last week. It's been up, I think, 24%. Okay, here's the gold bulls. Now we'll discuss this on Sunday nights about long side of golds come Monday. Okay, so we have a a bull flag here, fat bar. So you know that there's a lot of people in here. Okay. I have to respect it's going to continue on until the top of this, excuse me, sideways here. You can see the oversold condition in the unbalanced volume. We're about halfway. But don't be surprised if it comes back. You know, you're looking at an alarm halfway through this bar. You know there's a lot of people in here. So if you get gold to dump 17 bucks today on Thursday, you know that all these people are stuck, okay? Here you had a heavy bar on the downside. It went back against them, okay? Heavy bar came back about half. Heavy bar whips down a couple of times. Here's a bar off the bottom. Selling waned. Narrow bars, 3 narrow bars, just engulfed it. Okay. Cloud was resistance, kind of blasted through it here. Now, I'll respect the upside up to 25, but I wouldn't be surprised because you know all these people are here. Okay, so a lot of fat bars today. You need that momentum to carry on. So you need to just chase after all these with fat bars and do it again, but not as large. See how you have a fat bar, couple of gaps, another bar, same type of deal. Okay, this is on gold. Miners here, NUG. Okay, JNUG, this is the juniors. This will be where the greed's going to be. Okay, you can see how fat that bar is. You know these people are in here. Okay, and what's the pain to the downs? The pain to them is to the downside. You can see the unbalanced volume is higher. This is the greed. See how it's spiked up in here, came back against it. Okay, same thing. We know that they're in here. So if you club gold, dollar turns around and goes higher. Club gold, you're going to get all these people to come out, okay, because you know that they're there. People, all that volume is there, okay. All you have to do is come back again. There's a tipping point in there. Now Brazil, now same thing again. So they come in. This is for the emerging market type deal. We've talked about that before, about unwinding of the currencies, okay. So here we have unbalanced volume up above. Okay, we've seen previous peaks here. Okay, I'm going to say that there are people that are going to be getting out of this here. Okay, because all of a sudden, if you get unbalanced volume to be higher than the previous, okay, but the price isn't. They've actually paid. They've bought a lot, but it's not going anywhere. There's a gap action up in here. If it does, it'd probably stall in that area. But I have to look at this is that a lot of these big bars today are going to be pressured, kind of like this here, a little bit of a shadow. UGAS, today is Thursday, so we have EIA doing a webinar, another free webinar. You can see here how the bars in UGAS have narrowed. It's on a breakout on the futures. Basically overnight it's kind of quiet up above here. Typically these are pauses before continuing higher. I still open the door for a retest of the breakout area on here. Basically whippy. It won't a couple of cents either way of overnight, and that's all you need to do because of things have narrowed. We're coming into a seasonal period of strength in natural gas into October. You also have this gap area looked at yesterday's FOMC webinar that somewhere up in 320 area, and then between 340 and 360 is another stopping area. Like I mentioned before, I'm looking for 4 cents and 18, and then I think 6 cents, excuse me, it's $4 2018 and $6 2019. That's how I'm playing it. I would, anything on a buyback here, what I would do is I'd buy under $3 on natural gas. I would buy the 2017 contracts, and that's how I play any weakness on here. Now always remember 20, 30% or cents fat moves on natural gas. But here for natural gas, we basically did gap over resistance here. This one does kind of lag though, the underlying commodity. What I'd like to see is an increase in volume, and it continues, does have room to run on the unbalanced volume. Okay, EDC, once again, here's emerging markets. All right, big fat bar, you know that they're in there. Okay, unbalanced volume isn't frothy as we saw in the previous one, the Brazil. Okay, but here you can see the high, and it rolled over from basically 70 to 57. Okay, so same type of deal here. If it comes through this bar, if prices fully reverse on here, it'll head sharply lower. And that's what I want to point out is the risk on these. And of course, you know the emerging market, these things have all marched on. So you're looking for waning. Here you have a lower low. Well, what happens if we end up with a lower high? Then you end up with a shoulder head shoulder pattern again. You on silver. Okay, so this is you want up on silver. Possible the 1, 2, 3 pattern. Okay. Silver moving higher, and gold unbalanced volume still has room to run on it. You can see the unbalanced volume of peak up here before. A couple of lows. Okay, so basically ended up with people who weren't interested in this. Okay, respect that a little bit more to go. I think the futures are a little shy under $20. So you have that thing too. I believe, what was it, 2120 is a resistance level there on silver. Here you have the gap, came back, partial fill on that one. But once again, with these fat bars, you know that there's bodies there, okay? And you just pressure them. That's what I expect to happen today. Is if we continue on, I think we get ourselves a pullback here, especially if it's quiet. And there's Japan, back and forth. Okay, and we're talking. We looked at interest rates in that yesterday. The market's still going to pressure rates higher from the depressed level from December. Every day that goes by, even if it's a little bit, 10,000ths of a basis point, that kind of thing. We basically marched on with low rates, similar to the 1930s. South Korea, same thing. They have swings on here. Non-balanced volume is up there. One of those things that if they close at the high on Friday, okay, close at the weekly high, I'd be interested in taking home some insurance. Just as a Monday down day. Here's yen. Okay, we're back to yin and yang. You can see the fat bar. You know that they're in there. Unbalanced volume is picking up. I like the short side of China here. See how this swings. So it's a couple of bucks here, $1.50, $1.50 here. So that's an easy watch. Okay, Latin America, this is a bull. Here's the LBJ. I talked about that before, shorting it into the Olympics. Okay, we're getting a healthy bounce. I think it's going to stall up in here. Remember here, you had another one you have in the 90s. I expect this to continue the pattern. I don't expect it to go past 94. Unbalanced volume is up there. It is, though, thinly traded, so. Long, here you have kind of a setup of a bull flag. Definitely need some continuation here on your semiconductors. They have had a pretty good run. We're up to double. We need another spike on through here. It's about $2.50 here. See how that pans out. You can see the amount of underlying strength here. You know, chop, 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 quietly, quietly, quietly. Huge pullback here. From 44 to 36, and you can see the push on there. Here's the pause before it. Okay, try to basically jump like a long jump. All right, let's basically see how this pans out on the swing here. We should open up higher, but we need to follow through with these bars here. With the volume in these bars, they need to have momentum. Oil and gas exploration. Oil, I believe, was still up last when I looked. Same thing. Oil is either going to crack it and continue on to 47 and above, or we're going to get a rollover here. So we'll know more about how we have today. Everybody has to show up and play. Here's long Russia. Okay, they have the oil. Behind its back here, also the ruble looked like it was going to unwind. The U.S. Russia, I pressed against the bear side. Something's going to have to give. You have the oil, so now basically I'm long the oil, but now beginning to go. Okay, if oil doesn't go higher, then where are the opportunities? And you know that the bodies are here in RUSL. Okay, so you just basically set an alarm down here like 67.5. Oil, okay, here's the swing. You can see how it went hard into here. Okay, so where we at another $1.50 higher. Okay, but I believe it'll probably stop maybe $1 higher here. We do have oil up. This would be probably the first like minor stopping point, and then you have, if it's a larger channel, you can see though how it broke out below the channel area in reverse. That usually blasts through the other way, but if it stalls, then you're going to get another setup of a weaker momentum and another lower high, and then you're getting bodies to begin to walk in here. Okay, so what is this, Thursday? If we close $1.50 higher, so I would begin to drop it down time wise intra hour to see if Friday they buy R2, and then it comes back down because of all the people rushing into it now. Okay. So today and tomorrow, a lot of critical in the oil. Things of that nature, which of course would help out the Federal Reserve if oil begins to approach 50. All right, long here, working on a triple top, but it should pause, swing before going higher. We're going to need everybody to join in on here. Here's the TNA. Okay, So this is your Russell. Unbalanced volume is marching back. You know that they're in here. You might 75.5. Put an alarm in there if it comes back through. And then you could probably move it up to 76.5 after today if we close up on the day. Gas Hill, basically the same thing, room to run on the unbalanced volume. I'll give it $2-3 higher and then a pause. See how I'm just going to watch that one. DRN, here we're back to the real estate one. So real estate we watched coming down, coming into FOMC. Now they're rushing back in, and real estate still in an upward bias. Unbalanced volume was oversold. I expect this one just to continue on because of the cycle and also that it was recently oversold, though I'm not a big fan of this one. Developed market. Okay, so here's another one where you come on down and make a lower low, and you're getting a hard swing here, and you're getting the unbalanced volume is getting frothy, but you're not making new highs. So you have believers out there. So caution on this one. 47 on this one would be an alarm to reverse. You know where everybody's at. They're all stuck in here between what, 47 and 47.80 or so. So you can just see the reversal. It's kind of like this day here. It opened at the low and closed at the high. Okay. So here you have one where I'm looking at possibly the opening at the high and then closing at the low. It could still be up too. It opens higher and then closes above it, even though a big red bar that overshadows. Do we have one? Well, you could have this one here too, where it opens here. So the mark, well, I guess that's pretty bullish. Well, I mean, we'll come across one here. India Bull, you can see just rushing in here. We looked at this as a possibility, head and shoulders, higher to low. You know everybody's in here. So you have to get the follow through here. Unbalanced volume is getting up there again. Okay, so it may only poke its nose through there in reverse. So these big bars, they have to have. You don't want one of these where you wake up the next morning and everybody forgot how to square dance. On days like that, you have to have momentum. You have to keep it going. You're secure. You have to keep it going. A little bit of room to run on here. Maybe 34, 33. So we're talking $1 here. So it's one of those things that there might not be much left. What's that, 3%? Less than 3%. Mid caps, got to get it up there. There's still more room to run here. You have room for people to chase after it. But I want to see how all these patterns work out. We do have the breakout today, I think, in the NASDAQ. Okay, here's the technology long. So that's what I'd mentioned before. No smokestacks. You want the technology. This was decent yesterday. I was leaning on the short side yesterday. We needed some sort of follow through, and we ended up finally getting it. But it has to continue here. Because you get a mad scramble into the end of the year here. But some sort of pullback would be decent. Between here and here is, I guess, 10 or 12%. So that was decent. But we need the continuation here. Retail, like this one on discounting any hard slide in the market, I'd want to go into it too. Retail is still 70% of the economy. Recently oversold, unbalanced volume, and we're coming into the shopping season. So here's another one. So long, right? Come rushing into it. You know where the bodies are at. These are all interesting. Lots of unbalanced volume and didn't hardly get anywhere. unbalanced volume. I've been oversold since here. So what is that, 94, 95? 95 and a half, yeah, 95 and a half, 94 and 3/4. Set an alarm there on the reversal here. Here, X, there's energy, still more room to run. It comes down to today's action. If they begin to indiscriminately just start buying this thing, I prefer the oil over the producers. This one's kind of frothy. Okay, so we have a spike in the unbalanced volume, right? We know that they're there. All that work, and we're talking 20 cents here. Okay, needs to have the follow through. We may have a series of lower highs here, so this one's going to be an easy one. 28.80, 28.90, an alarm. Okay, anything for a full reversal here, it'll roll over hard. Claw, interesting, home builders and supplies. It's pressed up, though it's thin, 1,400 shares. Europe, same thing. Now we're coming up to the cloud. We'll use the outer for resistance here. All right, a bounce basically is how I look at it in treasuries. We think before I came on, we had some reversal candles from overnight trade, kind of poked their head through resistance and reversed. U gold still has room to run on the upside here. See how things play out here. For now, the deal here is you just have to develop a backstory. You have your oil. Okay, then you can get into anything else. It doesn't make any difference if it's a weak dollar or, hey, you could buy gold on a weak euro, a weak New Zealand. You know, that kind of deal too. So I just look at the commodities, commodity. All right, but a big fat bar there. You know that they're in there. Regional banks, that's still any type of weakness. I'd be interested in that. We're going to have mergers, and then also a lot of these. I wish we'd break up these bigger banks. We'll probably do that. TYO, nobody's in it. It's almost like they're bored to death of it. Some of these are going to get closed down. What's this? Worldwide regional banks. It's on weakness by. I like the banks, financials, and stuff. Healthcare, sick, kind of thin. We'll pass. Down gold. You can see where they're all at, and see it's unwinding here. I wonder if some of these will get sold off at a discount. What's that at? 42, 41, a buck to 5%. 3-4-5% lower here. Okay. TMV, I like that on weakness. As you can see, a lot of people got into it, so we're going to get some unwinding. Does have options, so you can sell naked puts to get long. This is what I would do. You get paid to buy. I want to buy. I'll take it. Whatever here. What 15 put, 16 put, 17 put, that kind of thing. At the money, if it slides hard. Okay, financial bear, huh? All right, same thing as with FAST. Basically, we stopped here. We'll see how things pan out, possibly getting oversold. It would be like this one might work here on the open. What do we have? 31.54. Yeah, it'd be kind of like buying weakness and then the reversal. What is that? 31.65. Set alarm for 31.65 on FAS. What is this? These are 2-hour bars. Yeah, okay. Possible inverted head and shoulders. It's just moving by dime, so it's kind of easy to watch. We know where they're at. We know where they ain't. So they bought, as you can see, yeah, they can see, Kev. They bought on the dip and then they puked it up. So now you know where they ain't. All right. So if you need some insurance, here you go. All right, energy bear, possibility of an inverted head and shoulders here. Like I said, back to the oil. Is it going to break out or not? Short on text, would like to have seen more people getting out of it. So that tells me that there's still more. Depending on today's open, we'll see. I'd like to see S&P up 8 higher. It's been doing that lately. Mids still have to clean them out of there. Here's that real estate. You can understand. Here's the bear part of it. That's gorgeous. That's a. It looks just like it's going to fall under itself, doesn't it? That's your bear. So we're back to real estate and REITs, things of that, and interest rates. We got the Fed out of the way, so now we can short any rallies in debt. Developed bear. Kind of pass on that. It is getting oversold. So you're getting people now to lighten up their load on the short side. You know, here comes this one too, TZA. So now I'd look at watching TNA and buying further out puts. What do we have? So I guess I could go out to November. Are they out there? Get in an opportunity, and that's how you look at it. You have a portfolio that you've been accumulating since whenever you could have started accumulating, and so now it's not as much as a biased trade. It's more of insurance. Like I said, you have the people bought up the first. They bought the Friday rally or Friday swoon. This is Friday swoon. A Monday's comeback, and then the choppiness, and now they're beginning to puke them up. Okay, especially if today they're going to talk about NASDAQ, new highs, who's at new highs, and, why are they going to own this? Plus, they're going the other direction. They take their loss. All right, well, not a lot of people wanted it down here, but they want it up here. So I'd want to target this area. Here's 27. But like I said, I'd watch TNA and see if they give away the puts. Okay. Okay. This is the short side. Yeah, you can see it's coming through. Usually is a continuation here. They are getting out. So this is one of those where you could see, like, if there's continuation on Friday, that's some sort of Monday pullback. Just for fun and games, they just pull it back. Bull markets open lower and close higher. And we talked about this up above here. It's an ETN, over 100, short it, just over time and everything. There's still more room to run to the downside. And this is DWTI. You can see it. They could slide all the way through, right? And rest, this is with the oil. I would have liked to have seen more selling on here. Watch double bottom down here. Similar to kind of like what Yang's doing. Socks, okay. Need more selling to come out of it here. Drip, that one looks like it'll probably bottom short relatively shortly. So we're back to bear on here. So I'd be interested in this one here, depending upon how they chase after the drillers, if the talk today and tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, on oil. Here's the bull on nails. That one looks like it's thin. Here's Yang. That was the one I was talking about. I wish a little more. You can see how you get a washout of unbalanced volume. It goes from 13, 15, nearly 16. Okay. Comes back down. I want to see some sort of washout on unbalanced volume. I mean, here's your target area. And you can just trail something from behind to get you in when it reverses. Down on silver, watched that yesterday. Need more to come out of this thing. So probably got it early on this. Probably taking dimes of profit here. See how it pans out. EDZ. This is the bear market. Okay, so beginning to wash that out. Here we go. So what do we have? 20.50, 21.25. So this one would be one to watch here, the EDZ, to see how, what we're looking for there is after fat bar, a couple of bars down in here. 20.50 would be nice. Here, this is interesting setup here. You have the oversold and the unbalanced volume. Okay, then they go and they run back into it. They get a high here. Okay, but we didn't make a higher high. See that? So they bought end up dip, and so they ended up having to puke it up. So I'd be looking. You know, this started something here. I'm looking for something underneath it, where everybody's now the other way. They've given up on the bearish side. We're looking for psychology here, and it won't take much today and tomorrow. Perfect psychology. Watch the put call ratio. Expect people to go chase after calls, kind of like they did with the Apple. How did that work out so far? I guess we could look at the Apple next. This one's beginning to come down here. D-gas, same type of deal. They're kind of giving up on it. Oh, nice strong update into the gap. I'd have to say that 320 gappy area would probably come down here. But like I said, I'm looking at this as, $5, $4, that kind of thing, 50 cents, you can pull it off. Not percentage-wise, the playing the quarters. LABD talked about that one. You can see unbalanced volume. Something down in here. It won't take much. What's that? 15. We're at 16. So risk down to like 1370. 1370. Resting buy order at 1370. Now we're down to the dust in that. Would have liked to see more sell-off. This just says that gold's going to get some action again today. Chart. We needed some more fat bars here. And the juniors. Okay, this would probably be, unbalanced volume. Much more. So I'd be interested in coming back into this one here. Because think of it as DWTI and NUG and that, same type of deal here. The gold goes up, say to 1400, stalls. The junior miners, they just collapse on. Can they make it at $1,400? Are they hedging, forward production, that kind of thing? Do they have debt? That kind of deal. So that's how I look at it. Treat JDST like NUGT and JNUG. So there you have it.